What's up, guys? Welcome to my overview of the Flywing FW200. We're going to talk about this heli. We're going to unbox it. I'm going to show you everything that comes in the box, and most importantly, it is a small 200 size micro RC heli with GPS on board and app assistance for knowing where the helicopter is at all times. Super cool. So it has positioning awareness. It also has multiple flight modes on here, and it's about half the size of the original Flywing FW450. So that one's sitting back there, and I just have that one sitting there for a comparison. So we're going to go ahead and check out Heli Direct's video from actually a couple months ago. This is super cool. This has a full CNC head on here, carbon fiber body, and I'm just showing you, their video because I don't even have video of this myself yet, but I'm really excited to take this one outside and fly it. I also know that it has the version 2 flight controller on this one and will be much easier to calibrate the compass before takeoff. Also in the box, it has like what looks like an LDARC controller. So I don't know if that controller can be used with other drones or not, but I will find out for sure. And it looks like the GPS is on the back of the unit right there, which is pretty awesome. It also looks like it's going to come with automated inverted flight. So up is down and down is up. When you're flying helis, traditionally, down is up and up is down. And they say sometimes up is expensive. You don't want to slam dunk it in the ground. As long as it's in the blue, you're good. But really cool that it has all these features. Auto return, one key return to home, omnidirectional GPS, which is super cool, and the new app support for the FW200. So let's go ahead. Thanks Heli Direct for making that video. That was awesome. Let's go ahead and check out what's in the box. So I was checking out the quick start guide here. It should have a QR code in here for downloading the app. And this little diagram right here tells us all the information for for just the standard hover mode. It looks like smart aerobatic mode and full manual for 3D flying. So if you're a 3D pilot, freaking awesome. We have normal switch, which is probably going to be normal GPS mode. It should have positioning as well. It should hold its spot in place, and then return right here. So pretty cool. It looks like throttle's on the left, so this one's going to be a mode 2 controller. And up and down, of course, for the throttle. Rudder and aileron are on this side. And this looks so similar to OpenTX, but I'm sure it's not. But I'll confirm that for you. It looks like it's also running on FH2S, which means I believe you can bind this up with your Futaba transmitter if you're doing that. So you can charge up the internal battery of the remote as well. Looks like that has an internal battery. Cool. It says do not fly it indoors. I mean, you could, but honestly, a 200 size heli has a lot of head speed, and it can really, really hurt you. So I would definitely not fly this indoors. But check that out. That's freaking pretty, you guys. I mean, the coolest thing about this heli, and I've been waiting for this to come in. I really have. The coolest thing about it is that it's one of the smallest GPS return to home helis that I think I've ever seen or had my hands on. As far as I know, this is one of the smallest. I'm sure there's a smaller one out there, but this is looking pretty nice out of the box. And I just got to zoom back a little bit so you guys can see the full heli. We have a brushless motor on the very tail back here, and it kind of reminds me of one of those Emax Baby Hawk motors. It looks like something like, oh man, maybe like an 1104 motor on the back, and it has 2 bolts on that back tail blade. It doesn't have a carbon fiber tail boom or tail support there, the tail fin. This is aluminum here, so this is not carbon fiber. There is an aluminum block up inside the carbon body, and this has kind of almost like an unpolished type of a matte finish on here. That's kind of cool. You can see how it's kind of like softer looking finish, not glossy. So that gives this heli kind of a different look. Let's go ahead and check out underneath and see what we got going on under here. So this is the version 2 flight controller, and look, it doesn't even, oh yeah, there's a tiny little Flywoo logo there. We've got plug and play stuff on the side here going straight to the servos, and we have 3 servos on the head. These are pretty servos. Check those out. You can't even barely see them because they're all aluminum. H200 servos. I'm sure these are metal, guys. Those are looking really nice. And those are all plugged in on this side. I'm probably going to tidy up these wires. These wires look like they're hanging out a little bit loose. We've got an XT30 connector up here, all metal head block here. We've got a giant motor on the bottom. It looks pretty beastie. You've got a little tiny lock nut on the very bottom with another, looks like an M2 nut down there, holding this entire fly bar in, or this shaft. And the fly bar's up top, but the blades feel like they're on pretty tight. Generally, my rule of thumb when I fly helis is I loosen them up enough so that when I go like this, that they kind of just barely fall a little bit. You just want them to be a tiny bit loose, but not crazy loose. You want them to have a little bit of play. So I'm going to loosen these up. It also looks like we have plastic links in between parts of this head here. And we have a 3S battery on board. And it's cool. They gave us looks like they gave us a Tattoo 3S 850. So, I mean, it really is a ready to fly. And it looks like there's a tray as well. So there's a push button here in the front. This is awesome. Push button to release the tray and pull the battery out. And it's kind of hard to get the battery out. This battery strap right here was getting caught. So if you leave the battery strap on, let's see if it goes in and out, slides in and out. Kind of reminds me of those old school T-Rex 700s I used to fly with the slide in, slide out tray. We've got carbon fiber landing gear. Is this heli cool, you guys? Make some comments down below and let me know what you think about this. You can also see there is what appears to be like an S-Bus style receiver in the very back, and that's going to be that Futaba style receiver. And you got one antenna coming out the back, and I'm pretty sure that'll have a decent range. You should be able to get line of sight signal straight there from a long ways away. But I'm super excited about flying this heli for you guys. I'm going to go ahead and set the heli down to the side. This is, by the way, unlike some of the other smaller helis out there, this is a fiberglass canopy, which is cool. You can see a little bit of grain in there, and then this is all painted. And here's the controller. And let's just double check this. This is what I love to see right here. Everything is labeled. All the switches are labeled. So if you're a brand new helicopter pilot and this was like your first heli ever, it has a self-centering stick, unlike most RC helis have the type of sticks that fall down and you have to control the altitude yourself. So that's all due to collective pitch, which if you're diving into RC helis, you'll learn more about later. But that essentially means that these blades can go up and down, and they go from positive to negative pitch. And you also have, hopefully you have an idle up mode on here. It does have manual mode, which probably throws us into idle up, which means like 100% throttle or 80% throttle 100% of the time, so that we can fly upside down and do inverted. And on this switch right here, this is your mode switch. You have stable mode, which is GPS position hold. You have Acro Mode, which gives you a little more nimble flying, but still some accelerometer assistance. And then manual mode, which is full 3D mode right here. So that takes off the accelerometer support. But Acro Mode should let us do flips. We'll have to see about that. And it also has SWB switch here and run and stop. So you have like a throttle hold on this side. The small helis, I've had one of these spool up on me before. It sucks. Like if you hit it on accident and you're in idle up, this thing will cut your arm. It did cut my arm actually. The E-Sheen one, about the same size. But this is chargeable. It should be chargeable, and it should have an internal battery. We're just going to double check this. I might not. Oh, yep, they included a battery. Cool. So we'll see what that is. Looks like a 1S 1200 milliamp battery. That should last pretty long. It's plugged in by what looks to be like one of the hub sand style connectors here. So you could get extra batteries. You might even be able to wire up something like an 18650 pack. But I don't know what the full voltage range of this controller is. It may be just a 1S one. You could use a 1S battery, but that's pretty cool right there. It lights up, and flight time countdowns on here. You can set up a timer. Very cool. And it looks like a USB-C charge port in the very top. And the on-off button down here. Also in the box, let's see what we got. We've got a screwdriver. This looks like, actually not a screwdriver, it is a 2mm Allen wrench driver. And this one's gonna be metric because most of the RC stuff is metric, you guys. We also have in the box some extra little, looks like some threaded cap nut covers on the bottom here for covering up this bottom part of the motor and the shaft. Looks like they gave you 3 extras, so maybe that's gonna be an issue with this heli. Maybe those things fly off. But it shouldn't compromise the main shaft of the heli. And you get a charger with it, of course, E350 compact charger, and it looks like it does 2 and 3S here. So these are pretty easy plug and play chargers. And let's see which adapter they gave us. They gave us the US power adapter, so that's good to see. But I'm gonna leave the link down there for you guys. And you can check this one out. You can grab one. They're around, I think they're around $450 for the street price. And honestly, it reminds me a lot of the OMP Hobby M1 heli that I reviewed on the channel a while back. It has just as cool of a look to it, and I feel like they kind of were inspired by that design, and then they like took it to the next level by, you know, making GPS and stability assistance on board. So for the new guys, yeah, this is kind of cool. And I also really like this canopy. I'd like those guys to send me this canopy just so I can have it. And as you can see, I haven't got rid of my other Flywing helis, and I still have my other 450, the version 2. So this one is the version 1, and as you can see, they're quite a bit bigger. And this one runs off like a 3S 2200. This little guy, 3S 850. And let me just put these side by side so you guys can see some size here. And the canopy's not too hard to put on. It has a little metal slot underneath, which is kind of nice. We're going to bring this back a little bit. Try not to crack the canopy on the first day I have this. That does happen, so you have to be super careful with these canopies. Take care of your heli canopies. Alright, so I'm going to bring this back, put that one on, and let's get a little size comparison here before I let you go into this review. There we go. And this is not really a review, this is just kind of an unboxing and overview because I'm super excited about this little guy. The little brother to the FW450, I think it's great. So if you want to, please do subscribe to my channel, guys, and check out the link down below and grab one of these because I think if you're in the heli community, I think these are going to be pretty limited after they start to sell. I think they're going to sell out. So you can see my full review coming up, guys. Please do subscribe on the channel. And I will fly this one with some FPV as well coming up soon on the Drone Camps channel. I'll see you on the next one, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.